let's get into today's business. Right. Today, um, we did a recap of the first week, and which brings us today to be. I mean, last week we did a recap of the first week, and today we'll then be moving on to the second week. I'm very sure you have the um, the program brought you with you, and you already know what we should be discussing today. A part of what we infused into the first week was VLOOKUP while we're doing some demonstrations, and we actually infused VLOOKUP just to explain some things or to achieve something. So today we'll start up with that. Since you already are introduced to lookups, so we'll start up by furthering that with Xlookup, and also we do index and match. Then we do data validations, and also we do try our hands on pivot table, and we possibly could do some visualization using our pivot charts today. So, and those are the things we'll be considering today. The lookups, so we'll be extracting Xlookup. We already know VLOOKUP. I'll get that definitely, and then we get into data validation. Actually, mandate some cells so that by the time we're writing our functions, we'll be sure that um, nothing that was not defined will be brought into it, and that's one of the essence of data validation. And we get into the point whereby we create a pivot table. I think that will be the high point of tonight's engagement. So great. So if you can hear me clearly, can I just get a 2? So we'll just be going like that. Every question I ask will progress from where we last stopped. So a 2 in the chat. So if you can hear me clearly, great. So just one person can hear me clearly. Thank you. All right. So great. So today, yeah, I think this was built in class, and what we use in explaining some of the things we started out with last week. So today we'll be continuing with this particular sheet, and I'll be explaining some of the functions to you as we go ahead. So it is essential to note that the Xlookup is very important, and how important this is just a follow-up on what we have in the um, in the um, in the VLOOKUP that we currently already know. So I believe that we all are now know how to implement VLOOKUP. I don't know how possible that is, that I could just get someone from the class, walk me through, you be on the other side, and you walk me through how to implement VLOOKUP on this table that I have before me. So someone indicate by raising your hand, and you just walk me through. I'll perform the task, but you will walk me through. Please, all right. Yeah, you can unmute yourself and you walk me through on this sheet. How to, and you are free to decide what you want to do, and I would just do that from this end.
Okay. Good evening, sir. Can you hear me, sir?
Or possibly yeah, I can hear you. Let me give a task. So use VLOOKUP to get just this. So I'll bring this name here. Benson Paul. I'll bring Benson Paul here. I want to use VLOOKUP to get the score of Benson Paul. So please walk me through that process.
Okay, so on an empty cell, type the formula is equal to VLOOKUP. Then it asks us for the lookup value.
So which of the value do you intend using?
So since we are using the Benson Paul, and we have separated Benson Paul's first name and last name, So I think it's proper to use the full name section. So that should be
Okay, good.
B4, cell B4.
Okay, all right.
So after selecting cell B4, it asks us for our table array.
So sorry, let me just puncture that a bit. So instead of, because this will be on the data you're looking out for. So instead of doing that, since that will be your preference, let me then bring Benson here. So I mean, so we can then start again. All right. You know why I'm saying don't go here to pick your Benson poll, because this is the table you are searching for. So let us have our other table here where we have our Benson poll. Hope you understand that.
Yes, yes.
All right, perfect. So then I've selected this, my lookup value, and I've separated with a comma.
Sorry,
So
sir,
what
for
do I do
interrupting.
next?
See your screen. Your screen is not showing
Your screen,
anything.
yes.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
The screen
I
is
can't
showing.
To
The screen is
myself.
showing. Maybe it's from their own end.
Okay, so I just stopped sharing and I shared it again. So I believe maybe this will help other people who were unable to see it earlier
Yes.
to see.
Yeah, we
Okay,
can
please.
see your screen well.
Yeah, perfect. All
Okay,
right,
sir.
so
So
let's continue. My guide, sir.
exactly. So for the table array, meaning we are going to be selecting the table. He said that we are supposed to select right of the value we are selecting from. So meaning the array is supposed to start from the first name section to, I think, the total score. That should be C1 to, let me see, H13, if I'm correct.
Okay. So H13.
Yes, sir. No, I mean the total.
Okay,
Then
to
G13,
H13. All right.
G13, sorry, G13.
Okay, G13.
Yes,
Okay, you want to get the total score, right?
yes. So for the column index, we are supposed to select the particular column where we are looking for the lookup value. So that should be B1 to B13.
So I should select again.
I
You
didn't
said?
get that, sir.
What should I select next?
Yes, the column index. The column index should be for the particular column where we are selecting Benson Paul from. So it should be, I think, B1 to B13.
Okay. So I should select it this way, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. So now, the last argument.
That should,
Pause. You said?
I didn't hear you, sir.
I said the last. We have one more to go. So is it that we say true or we say false?
Oh, okay. Yes, should be true. No, false rather. Sorry, false.
Okay, true. False. All right. And then we can close the bracket and hit enter. All right. So and this is what we've written. So you can actually look at it in the formula bar up here. So this is what we've written. So please show him some love on the reaction. Show him some love. Yeah, let's everybody. Yeah, some love, some love. Yeah, applause for him. So if you support that is correct, and this is not to compete with him, if it is correct, if what he has here is correct, please indicate 1. Thank you, Mr. Shell. So if what he has on the chart is correct, I mean what means correct, please say 1. If you think you have a contract, say 2. If you think what he wrote, I mean what he guided me to write, I mean by extension, that was what he wrote. So say 1. If what he guided me to write is correct, say 1. And if what he guided me to write is not correct, say 2. Oh, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. All right, I will be at liberty to call any of the 1 to substantiate and also any of the 2 to substantiate. So let us be fast with it. We have a long way to go. This is just a knowledge check, and no longer answer. So I will assume those that didn't say anything don't know what we're talking about. And you want to remain like that, no problem. All right, so this user, Ibukun Olua. So please, can you unmute yourself? Or someone is raising his hand.
Good evening, sir.
All right, since Ibukun is not raising her hand. Okay, is that
I can hear him, sir.
Perfect.
Yes, sir.
So you dropped 2 in the charts. So what do you mean?
Okay, what I meant is that the formula you used is not correct.
Okay, can be improved upon. Maybe that you want to say.
Sir?
All right. Yeah, that what he did could be improved upon. All right, I won't put out what he did. So I would like you to guide me through it. The same task, different guidance. All right,
Okay,
please be fast with it.
principal, that will be before is equal to VLOOKUP before.
No, start me. Okay, if it's got VLOOKUP, B4. So
Yeah.
I've said don't use B4. B4 is the table you are searching something on. So we have our D18 for your use. So okay, D18.
Okay, sir.
All right, continue.
From B, the column B. This column,
You
the
said?
column B. I said from column B,
Okay.
down to
all right.
down to column G.
Okay.
Format,
This way.
Okay, sir. No, G.
Okay.
No, column B to G.
Yes, that's what I've done.
No, not like that. From the full name, from serial number, for that full name, from 1 down to 13, sir.
This way, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Put a comma, sir.
All right, sir.
60.
Okay.
Six zero, comma 0.
Be green cube color.
Yeah.
Okay. Another one.
Can you hear me, sir?
Sorry if you're not contributing
Hold on,
in
please.
class. Yes, I have implemented what you're asking me. So, all right, perfect. So I heard you clearly, and I think we have it on the screen what you guided us to do. All right. So please show him some love by the reaction button. Show him some love using the reaction. Did you know why this is? And let me tell you for a fact that both the first person who contributed, Oluwaseun Bami Boye, and Ibukun Olua, who gave the second option. Both of them, I mean, in the first person's case, he missed off some things. I think he has some if the sum if, the average if mixed up with VLOOKUP, which is allowable, and that is learning. Did you know that with this that we've just done, he contributed in class, he mixed it or had some area of improvement, and now somebody came up giving the right answer, could be the instructor, could be anybody in the class, in this case, someone from the class. Now, he already knows what he missed along the way. So he now knows how better to do it. You think you are on the same level because you are in the same class. I'll tell you, because you were not the one who gave the not too correct answer, you possibly won't feel it the way he's feeling it, and the impact of learning on him might not be the same. I'm an educator, so I can say that better. So, and what I'm trying to stress now is contribute in class. It helps your learning. And I believe both have learned and some of us have also learned. So now, perfect. So, and that's how to implement VLOOKUP. If we're on another sheet, we could have done, I mean, come to a sheet and then to another sheet. So I spoke about Xlookup. So Xlookup, for some people, some function weren't pulling because you have version of Excel that are later than year than 2019 or 2019, because some of these functions came to play from the 2019 version. And I did show you my version last week, which I won't be doing again today. So now we possibly want to check what this Xlookup is all about. Okay, so all right, let me just go ahead, hoping that we'll have a better connection or true. So now, so talking about the Xlookup, then you think about VLOOKUP, because it's still same thing. You're looking up something, and you just want to get things in the right array. So I've actually, before the class, I'd gotten the syntax that you will have. Oh, okay. I should copy what the syntax look like. All right, in the regular Excel. Okay, let me just copy what the syntax look like, and you will see it is more, because you won't see any syntax on mine. Okay. So you won't see any syntax on mine. So this is what the syntax looks like. So it says, so you call it by saying equals VLOOKUP, I mean Xlookup this time right now. Equals Xlookup. Okay, I've not done anything. I'm just trying to explain something. So let me not put the equal sign so it won't give me the seizure. So I believe you can see it. Let me make it bigger. So this is the syntax. So now let me put let me put my cursor on the VLOOKUP we wrote earlier. So I'll have to call it up so you can see the similarity between the syntax. All right, so I don't want this to be overlapping this. Okay, so now you can see the Xlookup on top of the VLOOKUP, and you see how it looks. So very much like the same thing, just some bit of tweak. So now VLOOKUP asks you to provide the lookup value, same thing Xlookup is asking for. VLOOKUP asks you for the table array. Xlookup is asking for lookup array, which is the same thing. So where do you want me to look at? But instead of the what's it called now, the index, the column index that was being requested in VLOOKUP. So Xlookup is saying that just provide me what you want me to return that, and that's the return array. And he also wants you to say, what if I didn't get to see what you're looking for? So what if I didn't get to see what you're looking for? What should I print? And so you want to say print this, I mean, that is return this particular thing. It says, if not found, what do you want me to return? So you can provide that. Now says, what match mode do you want me to use? So it's the match mode is similar to what you have as the lookup range. Okay, I mean, that's the range lookup. So where we are saying false true, that is the exact match and the approximate match. So in this case, we're saying match mode, and then the search mode, which is always optional, by the way. So now let us get to put it to use, and let's see how we can implement that. All right, so let us get the same thing that we got here using Xlookup. All right. Oh, save and work, man. So I'm getting this. So we want to apply Xlookup. So let me reduce this a bit. So just have that at the back of your mind that is how it works. So if I call up Xlookup on my hand, it won't bring any argument, knowing that I know what to do. So the lookup value, and then separate by what's the array that I want to look up. So since I want to look up something around this place, and I want it to get me the total score. So I say that my array, that's the lookup array. So what value? Okay, sorry, I just, so
Elisa,
unlike, yeah.
Elisa, could you please bring it down? Bring it down below. Let it be below the Xlookup, so that we could be able to follow it alongside with the formula.
Oh, okay, perfect. Perfect. All right, so it says equals Xlookup. So the first thing is the lookup value, which I have here. Okay, let's do the same. Don't let us change it so that we can verify what we have. So it says lookup array. So where am I
something
looking
is
at?
wrong with your Xlookup formula. Take a look at it.
Yeah, I'd explained that before. You mean the DX, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd explained that before. I mean, don't bother about that. That's what I'll have on mine. Okay.
Okay.
So, and that's why it's not showing you any syntax. So it believes I know the syntax, I should provide the syntax. But if you are from your hand, I believe you should be seeing this, which is this one, this Xlookup. And if by any means you are saying the Xlookup, if maybe you have done something in the developer mode and you have downloaded this, I mean, you've gotten it from the developer mode, you possibly will have this DXlookup. The only thing you have to do is just to follow the syntax. That's the default syntax of Xlookup. So the D, don't just bother about it. If I can paint it white, I would have painted it white, by the way. But thank you for pointing that out. Thank you. So it will work, by the way. So, all right. So lookup value, I'd actually selected my lookup value in F21, which is Benson, Paul, and then I'd selected the lookup array. So please search for Benson Paul in this particular array that I've selected, and I say array, return array. So what I want you to return once you get Benson Paul, I want you to return whatsoever matches it in this particular array. All right, I want you to return what matches it in this array. So, and it says if not found, okay, what should I return? I said not found. Huh? Not found. Okay, not found. So, and then And then the match mode, I say exact. So I use 0 as my exact, and I close bracket, and I say okay. So now I have 50. I have 50. Please, someone use this Xlookup very quickly on your desktop. If you don't need to do any more. Always write Benson somewhere here on the sheet, put 50 in front of the VLOOKUP, and just say, when it says what's the lookup array, select what you okay. If he asks you of the lookup array, just select that this is the lookup array. The Benson is the lookup array, and it says, what do you want me to get for you? Tell it to get this for you, and say you want exact, and then you do that. So do that and see if it works. But in real life, where you have a large data set, so this is more realistic, where you have all of this. But I'm just doing that in case you don't have all of this, instead of you spending time to populate this, replicate this on your desktop. All right, somebody saying yes. Do I have that person? Oh, perfect. Yes, lookup isn't on my system. I explained earlier, you possibly could be using a version earlier than 2019, and you want to consider updating it to a newer version. But I believe you will get VLOOKUP on your version, so you can make do with that. All right, so now the good part of this is because we are losing time already. Okay, so all right, so I want to demonstrate something. You remember when we're writing it, we already put if not found, we already say not found. All right, I'll put my name in. So, and immediately I put my name there, it says not found because my name is not on this table. All right, even if I should put my name here now, okay, because the selection did not extend to my name, it will still say not found. But immediately I extend the selection to my name and then say okay, so possibly will give me 0 mark, and I didn't score 0, sorry. So it's 0, and why it returned 0 was because nothing is here, and this is regarded as 0. Okay, so if I put myself here, let me score more than everybody in the class. Let me score 1 million. All right, and then extend the selection here to there. All right, so and that's it. So okay, let me just take this back. All right. So that just explains it. So I can bring Stephen here as well. Stephen Jolaimi is in class. So Stephen, I just got 38 for Stephen. I can bring Tolu Lopedada. Yeah, Tolu Lopez score 88, and you know, just like that. So that's Xlookup that we just demonstrated just now. Any question? Okay. The major difference. Okay. Now, one of the difference that you should be able to point out was what I just demonstrated. John Lawal. Okay, my name is still there. Let me remove my name. Okay, let me put Dr. Victor. So not found. So this is one of the difference. All right. In a very plain tone, the VLOOKUP, or the Xlookup is actually an improvement of the VLOOKUP. The Xlookup is an improvement of the VLOOKUP. Yeah, so it is versatile, and by the time you use it with some other things, so then you will be able to identify. But one of the obvious must corroborate to it is this particular that you can return something. Say for instance, you want to say not found something. So can be instead things that we'll be covering today, starting from Xlookup. I talked about index, and talked about March. All right. So in the data, in the data collection, and you know where indexing now become very um, uh, very disturbing. Let me use that word for want of a better word, is because where the indexing rule was in Python is not the same way it works in SQL. And is very, very important. And we saw indexing play out in VLOOKUP, where we're told to provide the column index. So what is index? Index is just the position of a particular data. So where is the data standing? And you know, in some cases, you might want to know the position of a particular character. So where is this thing standing? What number is it? So and by the time we call the function index, all right. So when we've called the function index by our usual equals to, now I believe you know how to call a function. Now it is asking us the array and the row number. All right. So now I want to pull up something. Okay. I want to pull up something, and I say, for instance, I want to pull up let me use precious Umo. So I want to pull up precious Umo now. So precious Umo is what I want to pull up now. I need to, and I want to use it in a particular setting. So it is not just that I know. I don't know where precious. I just want to pull it up, knowing where it falls. So, or maybe I was giving a directive that pull the data on the sixth row, that is the sixth index. All right. So I want to just get sorry, been distracted. So I want to just get the index the data that falls into that particular index. So it says what array. All right. So what array that I want to select from? Let me select from this, like we've done. So okay, I can keep that also. And it says row number. So now, perfect. So row number makes it very easy. Okay. So row number makes it very easy because you can obviously see this is row 1, this is row 2, this is row 3, this is row 4, 5, and that. So if I say row, which row am I picking from? It's a row number. I say row 5. Okay, 5 to pick precious or more. And no, the next thing it's asking me is the column number. All right. So I don't need. I don't just want to be exact about it. I selected the array, but if I had selected more than one, possibly I would want to provide the optional stuff, and then I say equals to. So I say equals to. So now you see, by me just seeing that and I selected. Oh, okay. Some people were asking in the chat what part. Okay, thank you, doctor. Doctor had answered already. All right, and that's it. So now the data set was generated last week. Maybe I should just amplify that response. So it was generated last week, and we've been using it since then. All right. So a minute, please. Okay. All right. So now, like I said, we were able to write this index, and the index, we provided the index, and it pulled up the data set that falls in what we have actually provided. Remember, I told you about the naming of each of the cell, that the cell is named column and row. So Now we've already selected the array, which is the column where it belongs to, and we already provided the row where it belongs to. By default, it will give us the entry in that particular cell that that correspond to that particular what's called index that we've provided. So that's why we have precious. So if we should change this to 6, so if we change this to 6, we should be sure of getting Gabriel Raphael. So if that, and so let me move this forward a bit. I don't want to reduce. Okay. So it wants me to revalidate my array, and that's those two. All right, so this is the array, and then the row number 6, and then I say okay, that's Gabriel Rachel, and if I say 7, we can be sure we'll get Stephen Jalayemi. All right, so and that's that about index. So but I'm not done on that yet. So I would like to just quickly take match. All right, there is the function match. So the function is very I love match, and why I love it. Please just a minute. Yeah, okay. I just sneezed. All right. Okay, so out the function match is because it gets you the number. So now index is asking for number, right? But match can help us get the number out. All right. So match can help us get the number out, and that's why it is, most of the time they are looked up together, and it can give you also what you do. I already demonstrated that. Well, not here. Okay, no, that's the combination of March and. So let me demonstrate March here. Or did I copy? Okay, this was still the record ID. So equal to March. All right. So now it's saying March. So it says, what is the lookup value? Now you could see that March is also giving like lookup. All right, a lookup value, because March also helps in searching out things. All right. So let me say I'm looking for benzene. All right. So I'm looking for benzene. That's the lookup value. And then I separate it by saying, where do I want to look for benzene? And so I'm looking for benzene here. All right. So it's asking me, do I want less than, do I want an exact match, and do I want it to be greater than? So now I always want exact match. Okay. I always want exact match, and I say 4. So now, do you know what this means? So match has actually got me the position of benzene in this particular array. All right. It's telling me that benzene is on row 4. Okay. Benzene is on row 4. All right. Benzene is on row 4 now. So in a case where I need to get the what's it called, the row number, or where each of the data sets stands. So match can help me to get it. It won't make sense now, but it will make sense in the next example. And this next example, we will be infusing match into index. All right. And then it will make a whole lot of sense. All right. It will make a whole lot of sense. Remember the other time I was the one who provided the number So it gave me $ME to be on number 7. But now I won't be providing the number. Okay, I won't be providing the number. So all that I will do is to say this. Okay. Now, so, and I can just say equals index. It asks me for the array, and I say this array is where I'm looking at. Okay, this is what I'm looking at. And it said provide the row number. Sincerely, I don't know the row number, and I just told Excel I don't know the row number. But Excel says, "Well, you know the person you're looking for." I said yes. Then you can use match to get the row number. That's the exact position of that data set you're looking for of that data you're looking for in the array that you have selected. You know, I've just selected an array, and it says if you can use match will get you the row number that you're looking for. So instead of inputting a row number, I will just introduce match. All right. So I just introduce match, and match is asking me what is the lookup value. So lookup value, because I know my lookup value, and this works when you know your lookup value, I put it here. All right. So I put my lookup value here. So you can either put it here or you select it. All right. You can select it or put it there. So, but now I'm putting it there. Let's see how it works. So, and it says, which array are you looking at? The same array, bro. I'm looking at the same array. Okay. And it says, do you want exact? I say yes. So when I say yes, okay, I didn't close my. Okay. Oh, hold on. So let me select this. I think that's where the error is coming from. Let me use one of this has no formula in it. Let me use one of these that have been selected previously. So why am I running into error? So okay, I didn't complete this. Yeah, I didn't complete this. Okay, good. I didn't complete that. So instead of providing this number, all right, you know what what index would require of me to do is to put 4 here to get let me call this. So 4 now. So the 2 will get me Nathaniel. But instead of doing that, I infuse it with mash, and then I said this is the lookup value. So the value I'm looking for is Nathaniel. So I'll have to bring Nathaniel here just to get the same. Okay, I'm looking for Nathaniel, right? So haven't I used this? Oh, I've lost it. Okay, so match. Only that I want to know the position of this value and to be sure it's here. And then I say the lookup array and this same array that I've been using. So, and then I say I need a match, an exact match, and I have one more bracket close. Okay, close all my bracket. So then I have my Nathaniel. So what this match has actually done for me is just to get me the number. Because if I should clear what is before the match, my equal to sign intact, and remove this, and I say okay, so I would have gotten 2, and this is the row number that index needs to function. So you possibly will need all of this when you are performing some very complex tasks that we possibly migrate to before we complete this particular class. Maybe not today. And you know, I told you about nexting. Last week, in creating this table, we did some nexting. And what I mean by nexting is we have our if, and instead of just applying just the if on its own, we incorporated and into it um, we wanted to provide more than one logic, and we're able to apply that. So you want to do search because there is a function called search, and you want to perform. And I think I used that search last week when we were splitting these two. So it is, like I said, and I've always mentioned, it is about the task you want to provide. You want to perform that will influence how you want to do it. So you must be able to conceptualize what you want to do. Okay, what you want to do. Now, okay, so I'll move forward to saying, to just getting you into the place of data validation. All right, so data validation in this case now, let us zoom. You know, we did this last week. Okay, this was what I was referring to when I was talking about the nested if. You know, we have if in if, and not just if in if, we have and in the if, and you know, we have all of that all the way. But say for instance, now I want people to put in something, all right? So take a very good example. We could use this particular field, okay? We could use this particular field and say, I want to have either pass or fail, okay? Pass or fail. And I don't forget about what the line is. I just wrote this here for you to see what I'm talking about. I want to have either pass or fail. And you know, I don't want people to type it in. So I've given a guideline that once it is 70 and above is a pass, but once it is 69 below, it's a fail. So now, because of case sensitivity and how people could be very funny in writing sometimes, somebody might come here and say pass ASS. Maybe the person didn't know that the cap lock was on, and you know, when he wanted to write the P, he held his shift and he wrote P, and you know, these things will come out that this way. Or someone who is very clumsy who just write fail in this format, just write fail like this, you know, capital A, capital F, small a. I don't want to give room to that. Or somebody, so I just wrote fall, a perfect example. Instead of writing fail, I just rolled fall. All right. I roll FA, I wrote FALL, which is fall. And that wasn't my intention. Sincerely, that wasn't my intention. But that is actually why we need data validation. That is actually why we need data. So we don't want to give, because you have written a formula now that should take you've written a function that should take into consideration whatsoever comes into this field. So you have already said, if this field is fail pass, you know, maybe you will generate a graduation number. Maybe this is the final exam, and you know, once this is done, once this is passed, generate graduation number. So graduation number. So once this is fail, do nothing. So maybe you want to write a function that will perform this task. That once it says pass here, it will generate graduation number, and once you see fail, it will do nothing. Now, if it sees fall, because fall is not part of what you have actually considered while you are writing this, it will give you not a number, not applicable, valid error. So so many type of error that could actually come up. So now, because of that, you want to limit that exposure, and you want to you want to have control over what is written here. So now, perfect. So you can have a validation field here, and that is seen in data tab. So if you go to the data tab, you will see this particular tool here, this particular button. So I'm hovering on it, is showing data validation. All right, it's showing data validation. Now, so if you click on this drop down, you will see data validation, cycling valid data, clear validation cycle. So now we want to apply data validation. Okay, so we click data validation. Now it brings this. Now, so it says any value or number decimal list. So the option we want to use, and which in most cases you'll be using, is the list option. All right. So when you click on the list option, okay, so it's asking you source. So if you have a source for this validation, you can go on and provide the source. But many a times, just like the example I just provided you, so you already have your field that you
It's
want
only
to.
my screen because your screen seems to be static. I don't know if it's only me.
Oh, okay. You didn't see the
It's not only
pop-up.
you. It's
You
not
didn't
only
see.
you.
Uh,
Mine is
Only you.
static.
Oh, my
Lockdowns you are
my
doing
screen.
is not
Okay,
showing.
my screen is not static. Okay, sorry. You can't see the pop-ups, so let me make you see the pop-ups now. All right, just a minute. Okay. All right. I'll make you see the pop-ups just in a moment. So sharing my entire screen make you see the pop-up. All right. So now, so I'll go over that again. Now, you understand what I was saying when I was saying, okay, somebody just write this, and when I was trying to explain, I also fell into writing for. All right. So, but we don't want all of that. Okay. We now want to create a validation now. So now, what we want to write is, so I said, come to this data tab, come down there, you will see data validation, and please form an habit of reading. It says pick from a list of rules to limit the type of data that can be entered in a cell. So that is what we want to limit what could be entered, and that's why it's called validation, because we want to do the front end loading. We want to ensure that what we expect is what we see. So not a case of what I order versus what I get. So now the source. So we want to do pass or fail. Okay. And this is how we want it. We want to do pass or fail. So now, and you say, okay. All right. So you will discover, I'm very sure you have seen something like this. Let me create a column beside this. You have seen something like this when filling a form. This particular icon coming up beside the cell. You just select the cell, and this particular dialog box comes up or something. So you click, and the drop down comes out, and you have things listed on it, pass or fail. So you can choose pass. So now let me attempt to write something there. Let me say great. Maybe I saw the guy that's called 88, and I'm impressed, and I want to say great. So that's what comes up. It says this value does not match the data validation restriction defined for this cell. So it will not leave it to people to just be free. Oh, somebody just say, oh wow, 88. Oh, perfect. It will not allow that to happen. So it will restrict you to just pass or fail. Pass or fail. Okay. Sorry, I'm not following any rule in doing this. I'm just trying to demonstrate what can only be taken. So in all of this cell now, so the only thing you can put there is pass or fail, and that is the pair of data validation. And trust me, you can use this to implement this, that if you pass, generate graduate number, if this, do this, and that's another thing to be done. All right, so I believe we are learning. Is it clumsy? Is it modeled up? Please reaction in the chat box. And we have some minutes to the end of this class, and we'll be getting into a pivot table shortly. So, but let me just get the reaction. It has been good. Oh, Balkis is raising a hand. Please, Madam Balkis, could you say something?
All right. I have a couple of questions, starting from the Xlookup that that you demonstrated the other time. So my question is, the Xlookup, are we supposed to? Because when we tried VLOOKUP last week, we searched for the number on another page, like on another worksheet. I don't know if you get what I'm trying to say, but when you did this Xlookup, it was on the same page when we were looking for benzene Paul.
Perfect.
So I want to ask, can we not do Xlookup the way we did VLOOKUP the other day? Can we not search for it on another sheet? Because I tried it. Maybe I didn't put in the right formula, although it didn't give me what I wanted.
I should, but then I will demonstrate it now. It should.
All right. So that's the first.
Watch.
All right. So that's the first question. Then the other one is on I also observed that when you were doing the Xlookup, you selected all the data in the column. You didn't highlight the whole column. I don't know if you get what I try. You restricted what you selected from B1 to where the last value is. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Instead of clicking and highlighting everything on the column, you restricted it to where the values are. Is that how we are meant to do Xlookup, or we could also do it that way by selecting the whole column?
No. So, and I want to appreciate your attention to details. So I did that because I was working on the same sheet. I already have some things below. I don't want the selection to cross into those things I have below. And also, what I am actually writing is below one of the columns. So that was why I just went selecting that. So you can actually pick it from the column head. And if time permits, I could also demonstrate that.
All right. Then the last thing I want to ask is why did you have to state not found when we were trying to write the formula for Xlookup? I just want to know. I'm just curious.
Okay, because perfect. It provides us the option of saying, remember, and from your hand, confirm that you can see this syntax when you call up Xlookup. This part, the next one after return array is saying that if not found, what should I provide?
All right. So is that the reason you wrote not found after the?
If not found, provide nothing. Yeah, I was saying that I was the one who wrote it, but the syntax for Xlookup provide that if not found. I mean, you could see where I'm hovering around now. It says if not found. Okay, so let me just highlight it in the. If not found. So I now said if you didn't get it, just like if not found, return bar keys. So you can say, because doctor is not on the list, and that's why it's returning back keys.
Okay, but if what we are looking for is actually on the list, do we still have to write not found the way you did when you did yours the other time?
Yeah, if it is there, I mean, it is not. I'm not the one that will perform the task. It's the formula that will perform the task. So if I put
Yeah.
not found here, right? Not found.
Yeah.
Okay. If
Instead
I
of
put
putting
not
below
found
is where
there
you wrote.
and it is there. Yes. If I put not found and it's there, sorry, let me, so that I don't throw an error. So if I put not found there and it is there, it will just provide me what I'm looking for. Because
All
what I'm
right.
looking
So
for is total score.
so we just have to put that not found there. So in case if it doesn't found
Or
it, if it doesn't
something,
find
or
it
what,
rather.
or you can just say, even you can say not available. That if it is not there, not available. So I know
Okay.
JJJ is not there, so it will just say
Okay, I
not
get
available.
that.
So it is something that is dynamic, and that was why I had to put your name.
All right, thank you.
So let me even retain your name there, so that whenever it's not found, it should be back case.
All right, but I would still appreciate if you can demonstrate. I mean, using the Xlookup,
All right,
with
so
raw data the way you did for VLOOKUP the other day. Thank you.
all right, so yeah, okay, yeah, we'll get into that. You're welcome. Oh, I am not available for questions. We have long way to go. Okay, Onye, let me not rob you again the second time. Though you are number 3, sorry for the person who is number 1. I'll come to you shortly. So Onye, please go ahead. But there was a time you raised your hand and I didn't call you, and I'm afraid I will not get to you again.
Oh,
Okay, your
it's
hand is
fine, no
down.
problem. Can you hear me?
Perfect, yes, now.
Okay, I said the main reason why I raised my hand initially was just to clarify someone on the Xlookup that she was asking. I don't know if it's a man or a girl that is asking what's the difference, but I think you have clarified that. But I just wanted to chip in on that. In Xlookup, it does not look vertically and it does not look leftmost corner. Your column can start anywhere. It can actually be in the middle. That's the difference between Xlookup and VLOOKUP. It looks either ways, both horizontally and vertically. Then for this index and match, it's always very confusing whenever I merge the two together, right? I can actually do index differently and I can actually do match differently. But whenever it's for me to combine the two of them and work, I lost it entirely. Like I become so confused. I don't even know what to do again. I don't know if you can clarify that.
Okay, I missed most of the part of what you said. Um, but I think I get some of it. All right, so let me just take Abdulkadir. Abdulkadir.
All right, sir. All right. Thank you, sir. My question is on the data validation. So, like, we can restrict the data such that we cannot type any error or this thing, like the pass or the fail. So, but I know that if we want to perform an operation, for example, now let's say I have about 200 students, and I want to record pass, fail. So we can easily use our if or ifs, that if so students score above, return pass or return fail. So I'm asking, is it possible to incorporate that into data validation, or the two cannot work simultaneously? I don't know if you get what I'm trying to say, sir.
So the concept of the data validation is not actually for you. Okay, it's not actually for you to fill in those data. All right, if you were the one filling it in, you possibly would do better. But in this case, you have people who are working with who are actually providing that you will use for your analysis. And by the time you are sending the what's it called to them, the sheet to them to provide you those data, you actually want them to provide it in a specific form. So you don't want a case where you just send it to them and they will just use their free mind to just provide entries that won't help what you want to use them for. So and that will get you to a point where you'll have to be doing data cleaning yourself. So instead of spending time doing data cleaning, why not front-end loading by you saying, please, I restrict this cell such that what you will provide for me is what I need. So that's what it is for. Because if you are the one working, you can just use a conditional statement to get all of that done.
All right, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Okay. So let us quickly get along and round up the class for tonight.
Sorry, can I ask a question
All
before
right,
you?
so we have this.
The madam that spoke earlier, and she mentioned that with Xlookup, you can look at columns and rows. My understanding is that with Xlookup, you can return value. You can look at rows and return value from rows, and you can return value from column rather. And with VLOOKUP, you can look at column and return value from rows. So, but she said with Xlookup, you can do both ways. So I want to ask if that is correct, or I'm the one missing it up. Do you get me now?
Yeah, so we have, yes, I get you. We have Xlookup as well, where the VLOOKUP is the vertical lookup. We have the horizontal lookup, and we have the Xlookup. So the Xlookup looks in all direction because it is the dynamic lookup, and then the vertical lookup looks up down. The horizontal lookup, which is the Xlookup, look right left, and then the Xlookup, which is more dynamic in its own search, look in all directions. And that's why the syntax, just like I showed here, yeah, this is the Xlookup syntax. So just like I show here, so there is the search mode. There is the search mode part to Xlookup, which most of the time, which is optional. Not most of the time, it's optional in the way it actually does its work. So you can actually bring in the search mode to say in what direction you're searching.
Okay, thank you. I got it now. Thank you.
But it's always optional. So it is when you want to get into that. So sorry, just a minute, please. So I lost sight of power. So I actually lost power. I didn't know my power pack was not connected. So so this is where we have, and some people were calling for us. Okay, so let's get the same. But don't mind what is there. Yeah. So you can see it to the end. So let me just put this. All right. All right, so now we write it here. So the first thing is asking us is the lookup value. So we are looking up this, and we say, it says where is the lookup array, and we say this is the lookup array. Custom ID. And say okay. So I didn't provide the return array. So what array do we want to return? This is sales. Okay, we can also provide the return array by saying, should give us sum of sales. But I mean, this will just provide us the first occurrence. Remember, so it's a lookup. So let me get the return array, and then so say sales. So it will give us the same value. Remember what we did there was okay. So what we could have demonstrated is the name. So it will give us the name. Okay. So let us get the name now instead of this. We look Xlookup. So this is the lookup value, and then we come to the array, which is this. This is the array, and it's asking us what do we want to look up, what we want to return something from here, and what if it doesn't see it, so it should return a case. And we want it to be exact, and then we close our bracket and we say okay. So you can see it returns the name, okay? Return the name, and we can do the same for everything. So now, and we can then just say equals to this minus this, or okay, because the formula is still there, is showing something else, or we just do some check and say equals this equals this. Does this have okay true? So and that's, it should be true or true by the time we check. So we have only true, and that's it. So we just apply Xlookup to perform the same thing we used VLOOKUP to do the last time. Remember, it was VLOOKUP we used in populating this, and so we also did this. And for the benefit of that, we can quickly do that now and say VLOOKUP this to this, and this is 6,6,0 years. And so why is the error? Okay, I didn't do a comma after the first one, right? Equals VLOOKUP this comma this to this, and comma 6,0, and then there we go. So we can then replicate this across both, right? So by time replicate this, we paste as a value, and then we validate equals this equals this. So, and we should have true or true. Okay. So now that's just it. So I believe that answers So how do I make it and ensure that we have our keys through here? So I don't know. So okay,
Sorry, sir. Can we not return, I mean, like a number, like the way you wanted to return sales the other time, but you changed your
okay,
mind?
so yeah, I didn't change my mind. Why I changed it is because if I try it, we won't get the same number as this because these are summed up. So I just later discovered that these are already summed up. So if we want to use it to get a number, so I'll show that very, very shortly. So if you want to use it to get a number, let me get the first occurrence of this number, and then we bring the number here and we validate it. Okay. So you can use it to get a number because the first time we use it for a number. So now, so let me get the fresh sales on this line. So let me get the fresh sales on this line. So which is this, okay? So now, yeah, okay. So if we use Xlookup, just like Xlookup, so this is the value we're looking for, and we're looking for it here in this place. Where's my category ID? Let me customer ID now. And we want it to get us whatsoever matches it here. And if it is not there, we want it to say case. And then we want to say, sorry, I mean, everybody should know that the case was just put there for the class purpose. All right. So you could see we got the number. All right. So if we replicate it for every one of them, it will give us the first occurrence of each of those numbers. And if we quickly do a search of this also, so we will get the same thing. All right. So find this, and let it take me to the sales that is against it, this, and then you have. So you can use it to pull, but like if you are pulling so you are pulling the first occurrence because it is the first occurrence that it picks. It doesn't after the condition is met, it goes on afterwards. So after the condition is met, it just goes on. All right. So and that's just by the way. All right. So we want to get into we're out of time, but this is something that you find very useful as you go along. Okay, this is something that you find very useful as you go along in your data career, and that's a pivot table. So all of this that we've done, this table that we created, can I just quickly do several tools to give us what we have before now? Okay, just we do. Okay, so let me remove all the formulas in these tables. Okay, now all of these that we've achieved, so we can actually achieve them by some clicks using pivot table, and it's an inbuilt function in Excel that helps us to classify data just as we have it here. So now we want to have something like this. So to actually get a pivot table, you come into your insert tab and you say pivot table. So this is just the one that you build it from scratch. And because Excel is very intuitive, it goes into the data that you have and it's advising you on some recommended ones. So if you click this, it will give you, some recommendations. So these are recommendations that Excel had actually pulled off for us by itself. These are recommendations. All right, these are recommendations. But if we need to pull it ourselves, we don't need those recommendations. Okay. Okay, I just want to close this. All right, so we can, once we pull it by ourselves, so Excel select the whole range. Sorry, can you hear me, please?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes.
Hello. So now I was trying to say where you can call up um, the pivot table either through the recommended one. So once you just come to the recommended one, does this meet the expectation, what you're looking out for? I mean, you have things, like I said, I always mention, as a data analyst, the tool does not make you actually deploy the tool to achieve your goal. So you want to do some things and you just come through these recommendations, or are these things that I want to do? No. So I want to do something by myself. I mean, none of these recommendations actually put it like we have done in this place. So maybe you just want to put it this way for yourself. So you can then come and create, I mean, the blank one. So now, this pop-up table comes up, create pivot table, choose the data that you want to analyze. So Excel itself had already selected the range. That's the table range for you, the table range for you. So if you have a separate range, you can say, Excel, thank you for your time. I don't want this. You want to select another source. And if you want to use an external data source that is not from this particular um, set, you can actually do that. So then that's when you then choose to connect to data, and so where are you connecting from? Is it a file on your desktop or a file on the network, a file in the workbook, or all? So you just want to do all of that. But in this case, we're not connecting from external source. We're connecting from the table that we have before us. And it says, do you want this to be in an existing workbook? That is, let me just create a tab here. So Excel will just create a tab here. I'm fixing my pivot table, or it creates a new worksheet entirely for me to have it. So I said, please create a new worksheet, and then you say okay. So all you need to do is just to say okay if all things being equal. All right, so we have this, and now we can replicate what we have before. Okay, so we can replicate what we have before in this. So now, so what we have the customer ID, we have the customer name, we have the sales. So we can then start arranging them in that order. So hope we get it to this point in spite of the glitch.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so now we have the customer name next to it. Okay. Now, so you will have it like this if you don't perform some tasks before bringing it home. So now we unselect it, and then we say we go over to this particular one and we do some field settings. Okay, we do some field settings. Subtotal we say none, and then we come to the layout. We say we uncheck all this and say show item label in tabular form, so that it doesn't just model everything up. Okay. Before then we come back here. Yeah, perfect. All right. So with that, we can then introduce this. All right. So we have that next to it, and we perform the same thing on this, and we say no. So we don't want you to do all of that, and then we want you to not have everything marked up. So this as well. So the next thing we want to do is this and the sales. Okay. So well, sales now we put it in the value field, right? In the value field where sales, yeah. So it goes to the value field by itself, and then we want to do the same thing here, value field setting. Um, so no calculation, yeah, show a sum. So this looks good for us. So then the next after that is quantity. So quantity also goes to the value field. So I want to check what are the settings that is there. Do we want to edit it? Yes, it's correct. And then no calculations. So the same thing, I think discount, then followed by profit. So those perfect. So now you might want to check. You might want to check if this meets your expectations or if this align with what we did before. So now, you see, the first thing I did the other time was to copy and paste all of these that we did earlier as what's it called, as value. So I copy and paste them as value, because if I retain those formulas, especially I think VLOOKUP and could be referencing another location, and I think some if also could throw some issue. So you could see that what it has there, it has already arranged them alphabetically. So AA comes first. So if we do the same here, all right, if we do the same here and say A to Z. So if we say A to Z, so now let me put this side by side. All right, let me put this side by side. And okay, ways to do that, I can just come here and say new window. So I can say new window here. So where I have the two tables, yeah, the two, I mean the same sheet, and I created it in new window so that I can see two different things. So now I'm on the sheet one here, which is the pivot table sheet. So let me change it, pivot table. So now, so it's something you want to look out for similarities. So okay, now you could see that this is showing 1 and this is showing 9. Okay, so somebody please help me. Why is the difference, please? Somebody quickly help me. Why do they have different? Look carefully. And I don't have any gift to give. I can't give money.
Can you come again, please?
Can I
So
answer?
what okay, let me, you will answer, but let me just ask the question so that when you are providing the answer, people who did not hear me clearly will be able to relate with the answer. So I'm saying that why is this discount here? Because from all indication, this is the only thing that is different from the two. So why are they I mean, why is this different from this? Because we are expected to get the same thing. So please go ahead with your response.
Okay, good evening. My name is Usman. The reason why it's different, please can you put up the screen, please? The reason why it's different is because the VLOOKUPs, sorry, I said VLOOKUP, the pivot table summed up the discounts for Alex or for the individuals, the customers. Or why the one we did manually, we found the average of each customer. That means the average discount for each customer. So that's why it's giving us two different values. So I think we are supposed to for the... Thank you.
Thank you, and that is the explanation. So to achieve that, so this is the discount column. So just come down to the value field, and come to the discount value. This is quantity. All right, so discount. So click on it, value field setting, and then just switch from sum to average. And then you can say, okay. So, and immediately, by the time we apply the right formatting, format it as percentage, so we have the same thing, and that is it. So I believe if you've heard about pivot table before and it is portrayed as something that is very big, I mean, it could be big on its own because it does several great things that we cannot even imagine. So imagine we having to write VLOOKUP to get these names. We're having to write some if to get all of this value, an average if to get this, and some if to get the profit. Just by maybe 5 clicks, we are able to get this. So maybe by just 5 clicks, we are able to get this. So is Excel not wonderful? So, and that is where we'll be drawing the curtain for tonight's class. But for the benefit of those who didn't catch it at first, I will be doing that again now, okay? I'll be doing that again, and please pay attention, all right? So I'm removing this tab entirely. So, and I'm in my raw data. So to do your pivot table, you come to the insert tab. You have the option of recommended ones. And if you don't want to go the way, okay, let me just select one of the recommended and say sum of sales by state. So now I'm here. So this is what I have. So you can modify it. Even this that we have here, we can, I mean, we can say, no, I don't want it again. At the time where I was looking at it, that I wanted it, now I'm changing my mind. You can make it plain again and then build up. But you can also take this out. You can also just go to your insert tab and just do your pivot table direct. And once you do that, you know, Excel is very interactive. It had already gone through your data, selected the table for you. You want to also confirm that you select it rightly, and you know it says a new worksheet. So you can actually put it on this existing worksheet, that is this sheet itself. But we said no, put it on a new worksheet. So, and there you go, it has brought it here. So now we put in our customer ID being the first thing we want to have here. So now we have it there. All right. So, and the second thing we want to bring forth is the customer name. And remember, when we brought forth the customer name, it went underneath. But we don't want it to be underneath, we want it to be beside it. So we uncheck it, and that was when I was explaining about the field setting. So you go there to the field setting and you say subtotal none. I don't want to do any subtotal, and you can then flag this and say show item in tabular form. All right. So now if I should select this customer name now, it should go beside it. And since the rest of the things that we want to put in are values, so starting from my sales to my quantity to my discount, and the discount when we're doing our review, remember it was average of discount that we did. I will come down here and say value field settings, and we change it to average and say okay. So and that has taken care of that, and then the last we say profit. So but we want to format our data in the right, we want to give them the right formatting, and we come down first. So I mean the majority are in this format, and we want to put them in dollar. And but you remember this is not in dollar, so we put it in percentage. All right, so and there you go. All that we use VLOOKUP for, some if and average if, in some less than maybe about 10 clicks, we're able to achieve that. And from this, we can actually achieve another wonderful thing by, I mean, at the top, immediately you create a pivot table, you have your pivot table 2, when on the left is analyze and on the right is design. And by in the analyze, okay, let me say this because some of us might battle with this. So possibly you are working with this and you close this, okay? You click close, not that you click outside and it went by itself. While you are still on the data on the pivot table, you close the pivot table field. So something might happen. So if you click again on the field, it won't come up, and you might lose your sleep on it. That where is my, you want to do some further editing. So don't worry about it. Just come to the Analyze tab, click on the show, and make your feed list live again. So it will be live. So I repeat that in case because it's sometimes very disturbing. You just see it pop up. Maybe you have a long list of data and it's covering your data and you don't want it to cover your data and you want to close this. And immediately you close this, what happens is that now, after doing all of that, you want to then edit again. You want to edit your data set again. So all right, so you want to do that again. So and you can't get it. So you just come here to field and you have it, and there you go. Yeah, and I think I should draw the curtain on this. So I was talking about the design, that's the pivot chart. So on the Analyze, you have the pivot chart here. So by the time you call up the pivot chart, you could then draw insights from your data using some visualization. So, but it's a lot of data sets here. So and you have several options. So possibly we'll pick it up from there next week, and then we go on how to then make a dashboard with your Excel. I believe you are doing well in your Power BI class, and we will do some similar thing to what Power BI is giving us using Excel. So that's for now. I'll rest my case here.